Do you find yourself getting a lot of things done, ticking off your to-do list, achieving those goals, but still not feeling quite happy or fulfilled? If so, this week's episode is for you. I'm Siobhan Barnes, and I work with really smart, heart-centered women to realign their career ladders against the right wall where they can work with more heart and soul. So in my community, one of the greatest challenges that I hear time and time again is that I'm too busy and I'm too stressed out to really take a look at where I'm going and where I want to be heading in the future. And it can be really, really stressful and really hard when you're seemingly doing all the right things, right? You're getting the promotions, perhaps you're negotiating your pay and you're making some progress, but still you find yourself bumping up against that feeling inside, which is just saying, this isn't it. What are you doing? You're meant for something more. You're meant for something greater, and you're here to make a difference by being yourself. And it can be frustrating as hell when you don't know what that thing is. So this week, I want to talk about how you can hit the reset button and really take a little bit of a step back to assess how you can move forward in the right direction and what really needs to change so that you can find that beautiful balance of success, all the outward achievement, but that inner fulfillment. And I'm a big believer that there's only 3 core areas that you need to think about. And I love this framework because it keeps it really, really simple and gives your head something to work around as you're thinking about, okay, what do I need to reset? Everything seems to be going wrong. Where the hell do I freaking begin? And I believe it's important to do a reset and just focus on one thing, because one thing can have the greatest impact in all other areas. So let's keep it simple. So what are those 3 core areas? Well, in your life as a whole, if you look at everything that's going on, because your career is not just your career, it's also your family, it's also your health, it's also your relationship to money and all these things. When you look at what's really going on and get a 360-degree picture of where you're at, it can be much easier to know where to spend the most time. So there are 3 core buckets that I want to talk about today. And spoiler alert, I've got a free training which you can do and download. It takes 20 minutes or less to really do this for yourself. So this is a little teaser so you can get an idea. But if you're interested, then make sure you download that below. So the 3 core areas are, number 1, your experiences that you're feeling on the day-to-day. Number 2 is your contribution. And number 3 is your growth. So I call that your ECG. And that's really the heart and the lifeline to creating fulfillment and success, which is this beautiful balance that we want. So what are experiences? Experiences are how you enjoy your day-to-day life. Often we'll go after these goals, right? Like climbing the corporate ladder or, getting the house. And in the day-to-day experience of what it's like to achieve that goal, nobody freaking knows, but you're the one living it. So in this particular bucket, you can include things like your romantic relationships, your friendships, your sense of adventure, where you go traveling to, and also your home environment. These are kind of the 4 subcategories within this bucket where you have an experience of day-to-day life. So that's number 1, your experiences. Number 2 is your contribution. How are you helping? How are you making a difference? And this is really more around, your work. So that could be your career. This could be around your business, if you're a business owner. It's also around money. It's also your family and also your community. These are the ways that you contribute. And contribution is one of those higher needs. When you look at human needs psychology, it's one of those things we innately need and desire. I know sometimes in corporate, it can seem like that's not the case, like people don't genuinely want to contribute. But if you come back to people's core, there is a truth that people do want to help and they do want to be of service. Because when you're just achieving for achievement's sake, it means nothing. We really want to have somebody to receive that and to feel like we're doing something more meaningful. So that's the contribution bucket, and that's really key. The growth bucket is also one of those higher needs when you look at human needs psychology. And this is really about how you're growing as a person. So this is where your health and fitness comes in, how you're taking care of yourself, how you're stimulating your mind. What are you learning? How are you feeding this mind, which, by the way, is always bombarded with social media and technology and can actually be a little bit of a require a bit of a wake up to get out of that hypnotic state. So the mind is one of those. The other is play and creativity. How are you growing through play and creativity? Again, one of those things that gets squashed down a lot, but that's how we evolve as human beings, and that's how you evolve as a person as you explore these things. And the final one in this bucket is spirituality. What's your relationship with something greater than yourself? And this can mean religion, or it can just simply mean spirituality. Where you sit on that scale is perfectly up to you. So those are the three core areas, right? Your experiences, your contribution, and your growth. And you just want to pick one of those areas that needs the most attention and just start there. It really is that simple. You don't have to overanalyze it. So as I mentioned before, if you want to go deeper into this and you want to hear me talk more about each of those different categories and those breakdowns, and also go through a workbook so you can figure this out for yourself and know, okay, specifically where you need to be focusing, then make sure you download that below. Just remember that there's no one in the world who can do what you do the way you do it. And when you're able to focus on the one thing that's going to move the needle in your life and your career, that's when you're going to move forward. And I will say this, often we think it has to be career, money, or business related. I've often found that the personal development work, so looking at my health, looking at my relationship to money or relationship to others, looking at my boundaries, that sort of thing, that is where the greatest changes happen in my career and my business. And that's because I'm stepping into more of myself. And that, dear one, is what I want for you. So leave a comment for me below if you already intuitively know which area you need to focus on. Pop that in the comments. And as I said before, if you want to go deeper, you can access your free training and your free workbook and do this in just 20 minutes or less. I can't wait to support you. Sending so much love.